Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, text 25. Shanai Shanair Uparamet Buddhya Dhritigruhitaya Atmasamstham Manah Krutva Nakinchid Api Chintayet. So Krishna says here the importance of Shanaihi. Shanaihi means gradually, step by step. The process of advancement in any spiritual path is not like you switch on today and then tomorrow you'll be a different person. It has to be a gradual, step by step. Shanaihi uparamet. One should, with full conviction, buddhya dhriti grihitaya, by one's intelligence, with conviction, and atmasamstham manah krutva. The mind should be fixed on atmasamstham, the transcendence, na kinchit api chintayet, and should not think of anything else. So Prabhupada translates this as gradually, step by step, with full conviction, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. So when Prabhupada said mind should be fixed on the self alone, it's not our soul. The S is capitalized. That refers to Krishna. Krishna is the super self. Atmasamstham manaha krutva. Manaha atmasamstham krutva. Mind should be fixed on the super self or Krishna. Na kinchit api chintayet. One should not one should think of nothing else. And how does this happen? Gradually, shanaihi, and it requires proper conviction and intelligence. Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. So in technical terms, there is this Ashtanga-yoga system. It has 8 angas: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So this yama, niyama are following rules and regulations. Asana, sitting postures, pranayama, breathing exercises, and pratyahara. Pratyahara means, ahara means what? You eat. Pratyahara means just the opposite. You let go or you don't eat. That is ceasing sense activity. You are right now engaging the senses in ahara, the eyes in seeing, the tongue in eating, the nose in smelling, the ears in hearing, the skin in touching. But when you let go that, when you cease those activities, it is called pratyahara. So this is the pratyahara stage that Krishna is talking about in this verse. Of course, for those who are following the Ashtanga Yoga system. But as I said, as I keep saying, the parallel path is Krishna consciousness, where the senses are not seized from sense activities. We engage in Krishna activities. That is also akin to pratyahara. And then Prabhupada says here, the mind being controlled by conviction, meditation, and cessation of the senses should be situated in trance. So, 3 things he highlights: conviction, meditation, and cessation of the senses. So, these are the 3 important things for pratyahara. Because unless you are convinced about something, why will you do pratyahara? Why will you cease your sensual activities? You have to be convinced. and then you have to follow the meditation. At that time, there is no longer any danger of becoming engaged in material conception of life. In other words, although one is involved with matter as long as the material body exists, one should not think about sense gratification. One should think of no pleasure aside from the pleasure of the Supreme Self. This state is easily attained by directly practicing Krishna consciousness. See, that's what Prabhupada concludes. For a Ashtanga yogi, one should not think about sense gratification. One should keep aside the pleasure of sense gratification. But this state is easily attained by those who are practicing Krishna consciousness. So, Krishna consciousness also, there is gradual step by step progress. Advancement is gradual. There was one man, he was very rich and he was splurging his money. He was not very careful about money. He was enjoying. But eventually, as Kala progressed, he was bereft of all his riches. He lost everything. And he became a very poor man. And he was struggling to make ends meet. And he was desperately in need of some money so that he can resurrect his life. And suddenly, one car pulls up in front of his house. He thought somebody came to take away whatever is remaining with him because of his debts. And then that person comes and gives him a big golden ornament as a gift. And then this man is shocked and surprised. Oh, who are you? I don't know you. Who you are. And then this man says, no, but I know you very well. This is the gift. I cannot give you, I can give you much more, but I don't know whether you'll accept. You changed my life. And then this man said, how did I change your life? He said, years ago, you used to pass by my house walking, and you would always put some seeds and pour water into them, and then you go away in the path that used to be your habit. So that happened to be my compound. And the seeds started to grow, and nice mango trees have become. And then I found the idea and I developed this, making this into a huge garden. And then I started this mango business. And then I used to be a very poor person, but I became a very rich person just because of your good deeds. And I wanted to show my gratitude. And then he helped him, or he understood that this man became very poor, and then he helped him to become rich again. So you see, the small acts that you do every single day, either knowingly or unknowingly, but it has to be a good act, a useful act. It will yield long term benefits. Every small piece of water you are pouring, you see, putting the seed and pouring water, you may not see that the seed is sprouting. You might have even forgotten. And as a daily habit, you are doing without even knowing, or somebody else sowed the seed, but you are without knowing whether it is working or not. As a habit, you are doing, but it will catch, it will sprout one day. So every single day that you take to this process of Krishna consciousness, particularly the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, following the rules and regulations, which is the Bhakti Lata. The seed of devotion is nothing but agreeing to follow the rules and regulations of the spiritual master. When you agree to follow those rules and regulations, the Bhakti Lata seed is sown in the heart. And when we water it, what is the watering process? Shravana Kirtana Jale Karaye Sechana. Malihana Sei Bij Kare Aropana. Shravana Kirtana Jale Karaye Sechana. Just like a gardener, one should sow that seed given by the spiritual master in the heart, and one should water it carefully every day. And what is that watering process? Shravana Kirtana. Hearing about Krishna, chanting the holy name of Krishna. And then the seed will start to sprout and start to become a plant, and it will grow and give fruits. And when it is ripened, that bhakti, when it becomes matured, that we enjoy, relish the pure devotion. So, our Krishna consciousness is measured by our relishing of that fruit, particularly of the relishing of the holy name of Krishna. But while chanting the holy name, we have to follow, make sure that we don't commit offenses. There are 10 offenses that we chant when we come to temple in the morning. It's very important to understand all these 10 offenses, to not blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord, to consider the name of the Lord to be on an equal footing with that of the names of even great personalities, great demigods like Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master, or to consider him as an ordinary person, to blaspheme the Vedic literatures, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination, to give some mundane interpretation to the holy name. Oh, the holy name means this, that, like that. Or to commit sinful activities on the strength of holy name. Because now I'm chanting the holy name, oh, now I can commit anything, and the holy name can neutralize all my sinful activities. That is a great offense. Or to consider the holy name as one ritual, like we do a lot of rituals for karma kanda, for my health or happiness, going to higher planets, Svargaloka, to consider the holy name as that kind of a ritual. Or to preach the glories of the holy name to those faithless, trying to push so that they will commit more offense to the holy name. Or, in spite of knowing all of this, we continue pursuing our material path. That is also an offense. Or inattentiveness. So, all these offenses, of course, we cannot get free of all these offenses immediately. But that's why it is said gradually. We start with offensive stage of chanting. We're committing so many offenses, knowingly, unknowingly. Blaspheme the devotees, or we consider that as a ritual. We have so many material attachments. So there are very inattentive chanting. While chanting, we do so many things, or we are not attached, or we are not attracted to the sound. Of course, see, we are in the conditioned state. So it is imperative that we are in the offensive state. But we have to try. sincerely try in my capacity. And this is what Krishna sees. Whether you are trying, Krishna is not seeing whether you have become completely pure. Krishna is only seeing whether you are trying sincerely in your capacity. Then Krishna reciprocates with his help. I remember in my college days, the first time we were learning computer programming. So it was not very easy for me to understand. And so the teacher gave us different concepts. And so we were supposed to learn that and practice some coding and all of that. And so finally there was a test. So I wrote the code and I was struggling to make it work. It was not working. And I was sincerely trying the logic and tried to correct it, but it was not working. Even the syntax was failing. So many errors. And then I thought, I failed the test. It's a very crucial test. And then, to my surprise, when the results were given, he gave me full credit, 10 out of 10, even though the program did not work. And then he told me that he knew that the program was not working, but he saw my progress during the course of the semester, or how many hour days that till lead up to that test. And I was doing the exercises, I was asking right questions, I was turning in the homework, and he saw my progress from ground zero up to the time. And then he saw that my approach was correct, the logic was correct, it was just some here and there it was incorrect. So he gave me full credit, and that was very encouraging for me. And so likewise, Krishna is a person. This process is not impersonal. Krishna is a person. He knows how hard we are trying, how sincerely we are trying. And based on our sincerity, Krishna will give us that advancement. This is a process of revelation and attainment of progress by as a gift by the Lord. This is not a process where, oh, I work hard, therefore I should get this. So sometimes we have that entitlement mentality. Krishna consciousness is not an entitlement. I do this, therefore I should get this. In the material world, yes, you can go and demand your boss. See, I've done this and this and this. You need to give me this rating. Or if you do it this and this and this, naturally there'll be a result. But in Krishna consciousness, you cannot demand the Lord. The Lord has to be pleased based on your attitude, your sincerity. Then the Lord will reveal. Yam evaisha vrunute tena labhyas nayam atma balahinena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yam evaisha vrunute tena labhyas. Whoever he chooses, he will bestow that advancement. But we have to, as I said in the previous class, God helps those who help themselves. We help ourselves by placing ourselves, by doing things by which the Lord can reciprocate with us. So Prabhupada was giving a class about this chanting of the holy name. He said, this holy name is not different from the original personality of Godhead, Krishna. So we are seeing the deity of Krishna. Even the deity is not different from the original form of Krishna. So Krishna is absolute. Anything about Krishna is Krishna. It will be realized gradually. But for the time being, you have to take it, you have to accept that I'm chanting the holy name of Krishna. This means that Krishna is personally present on my tongue. Therefore, I am in direct touch with Krishna. And we should be very careful so that we may not commit offenses, as I was saying, the 10 offenses. So Prabhupada, he likened that offensive stage of chanting to that of wetting process. You know, you have this dry piece of wood and you are trying to light fire by bringing it closer to the fire. But you are wetting this wood also, which is considered to be like engaging in sinful activities. So as soon as you give up this wetting process, the sinful life, then immediately you become 50% purified to approach God. So one devotee was explaining, Prabhupada came to England and the devotees, they brought different eminent people to meet Prabhupada. And so there was one priest also was there. And so Prabhupada was explaining to him that you are not following, you are not advancing. The priest asked, oh, how these disciples, even though they were young, they seem to be very radiant and very enthusiastic, jolly, and they seem to be always chanting the names of God. But it's quite difficult to imagine that kind of progress in our atmosphere, in our culture. And then Prabhupada said, because you are still committing sinful activities. The first thing is, Jesus Christ said, thou shalt not kill, and you are becoming expert killers. So Prabhupada said, he wanted to establish a society of sinless men. He called it Society of Sinless Men. If you cannot join directly Krishna consciousness, I will start this society, at least you join that. Because as long as you commit sinful activities, you cannot understand God. It's a very important thing. And if one says, no, I cannot come to that stage of sinlessness, then the other way to do that is take up the chanting of Hare Krishna, by which eventually your sins will be eradicated. Even the offenses. If one thinks, oh, I'm always in offensive stage of chanting, all right, continuing chanting sincerely, then the offenses will gradually be removed. Krishna will give you that realization. Krishna will make you purified. The more we chant, the more we become purified. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever he went, he would ask, you chant Hare Krishna, including these, when he would go in the forest, he would see these wild creatures. They would all chant Hare Krishna. So one time, with his companions, he came to a washerman who was beating the cloths upon a piece of plank. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the washerman, say Haribol. And the washerman thought these, he did not understand what they were asking. These mendicants have come to beg alms from him. And he said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh, my dear sannyasi, I am very poor. I have nothing to give you. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I don't want anything from you. I want only to you to say Haribol at least once. And the washerman refused. He thought this is some kind of a trick by which he'll be forced to pay something. You know, sometimes when we go to distribute books and we show these mantra cards, can you repeat this holy name? Some people do, many people do actually. But some people they think, oh, this is some kind of a trick. I'll be undergoing something, or I'll be required to pay something or something. No, 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 I don't want to do that. So like that, he was also thinking, no, 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 I don't want to do. He said, I'm very poor. I cannot give up this beating the cloth in order to chant this name. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I shall do the beating of this cloth. You please say Haribol. See, Krishna, if you take to Krishna consciousness, Krishna provides what we lack and preserves what we have. Personally, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. We are actually meant to engage in Krishna consciousness. This material activity is just incidental because we have this body. But our original duty should be Krishna consciousness. And Krishna will provide everything we need for our material life. We should have that confidence. So finally, this washerman became confident. And then he said, Haribol. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to repeat the same twice. And he repeated twice. And then the fire of devotion caught on. And then he started to repeat the holy name unasked. And then he started to dance in ecstasy, raising both his hands. And then he was dancing. And the wife of the washerman came, brought some food. And she saw her husband dancing. Haribol, Haribol. And he, he is in ecstasy, had no consciousness of his surroundings. And she tried to call him in vain. And she was frightened. She ran to the villagers and said, oh, a ghost has taken possession of my husband. Please help me. And they all came. He was still dancing in ecstasy. And one man caught hold of this washerman, tried to stop him. He was chanting Haribol and said, what is this Haribol? And he also started to chant Haribol. And he also started to dance. And all of this is the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show them how ecstatic the chanting of holy name. That was a special mercy he was releasing, just to give them the glimpse. And then all the people, what is this Haribol? And then everybody started to, like a contagion, they started to dance. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed that scene for some time and left that place. So this is the process of the chanting of the holy name. And everybody can attain that state provided we take to that medicine regularly, sincerely, and have that patience and conviction. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.